Hey everyone. Today we're talking about the 2022 P Maya Angelou Quarter. Some people online have claimed that this modern coin can be worth as much as $2,375, and that's definitely something that grabs attention. Imagine finding one of these coins in your change and realizing it's worth thousands of dollars. That would be a pretty exciting discovery. But is it really true? Is this quarter really that valuable, or is it just another example of online hype? Let's take a closer look at the coin, understand what makes it special, and break down what it's actually worth in today's market. The 2022 Maya Angelou Quarter holds a special place in recent U.S. coin history. It's the first release in the U.S. Mint's American Women Quarters program, which was created to honor women who have made significant contributions to American history and culture. This program is set to run from 2022 to 2025 and features a new woman on the back of the quarter every few months. Maya Angelou, the iconic author, poet, and civil rights activist, was chosen to appear on the very first coin in this series. That alone makes the coin historically meaningful and a favorite for collectors. The coin features a unique and powerful design. On the front, or obverse, you'll see a portrait of George Washington. But it's not the same image we're used to seeing. This time, Washington is facing to the right, not to the left as in traditional designs. This new portrait was actually based on an original 1932 design by sculptor Laura Garden Fraser, which was passed over in favor of the familiar John Flanagan version we've seen for decades. So in a way, this design was 90 years in the making and finally got its time to shine. The change is subtle but important, giving the quarter a fresh look while honoring earlier artistic ideas. On the back of the coin, Maya Angelou is depicted with her arms uplifted. A bird is soaring behind her, and rays of sunlight are spreading out in the background. The imagery is deeply symbolic and ties into the themes found in Angelou's most famous work, particularly her poem, I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings. The overall effect is one of strength, hope, and inspiration, perfectly fitting for a tribute to someone who spent her life lifting others through words, activism, and performance. The coin includes a small letter, P mint mark, which tells us that it was made at the Philadelphia Mint. Like other modern quarters, it is made of a copper-nickel blend and weighs about 5.67 grams. So in terms of metal content and structure, it's exactly the same as any regular quarter you'd use for buying a soda or paying for parking. Here's where the value question comes into play. The U.S. Mint produced over 237 million Maya Angelou quarters at the Philadelphia Mint alone. When you factor in coins from the Denver and San Francisco mints, the total number produced rises well above that. That means the coin is not rare by any standard. In fact, it's one of the most common modern coins currently in circulation. So, if you happen to find one in your pocket change or lying in a coin jar at home, it's probably only worth its face value, 25 cents. Even coins that are in pretty good shape don't go for very much. If you find a Maya Angelou quarter that hasn't been used in circulation, say, one straight from a U.S. Mint roll or bag, it's considered to be in brilliant uncirculated condition. These coins tend to sell for somewhere between $1 and $3, depending on demand and condition. That's a small premium for collectors who want clean examples for their albums or displays, but it's nowhere near the $1,000 claims you may have seen online. There are special versions of the coin that are worth a little more. The U.S. Mint sold proof and silver-proof versions of the Maya Angelou quarter in special collector sets. Proof coins are struck multiple times using polished dies to give them a mirror-like finish and crisp detail. Silver-proof coins, as the name suggests, are made from actual silver. These versions are usually packaged and sold directly to collectors. If you have one of these, it could be worth anywhere from $5 to $25, especially if it has been kept in pristine condition or graded by a professional service like pcgs or NGC. Now, about that $2,375 price tag. Where does that number come from? Well, in very rare cases, a coin can be found in exceptionally high condition, what's known as a high mint state grade. These coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70. Anything over MS65 is considered high quality. MS67 and above is extremely rare for coins struck for general circulation. An MS67 plus coin must be nearly flawless, with no scratches, bag marks, or dullness, and it must show strong luster and crisp detail. There was one example of a 2022 P Maya Angelou quarter that was graded MS67 plus by pcgs, and it reportedly sold for $2,375 at auction. That kind of sale is exciting and makes headlines, but it's important to understand that these are exceptions, not the rule. Most quarters, even in uncirculated rolls, will not grade that high. In fact, only a tiny fraction of coins submitted for grading ever receive MS67 plus or MS68 status. So while that price is technically real, it's also incredibly rare and should not be expected by most people holding one of these quarters. You may also see listings on sites like eBay where people are asking hundreds or even thousands of dollars for the coin. But remember, asking prices don't mean much unless the coin actually sells. Just because someone lists a quarter for $2,000 doesn't mean someone will pay that amount. The real market value is determined by what buyers are actually willing to pay, and in most cases, that's just a few dollars or less. If you're hoping to find value beyond face value, it's a good idea to keep an eye out for mint errors. Occasionally, coins are struck with mistakes like off-center designs, die cracks, or doubled images. Some of these error coins can be worth $10, $50, or even more, depending on how unusual and dramatic the error is. These are still rare, but more common than finding a perfect MS-68 coin. So, is the 2022 Maya Angelou Quarter worth collecting? Absolutely. It's a beautifully designed coin with historical and cultural significance. It marks the first time a black woman has been featured on a U.S. quarter, and it kicked off an exciting new coin series. Collecting it makes sense whether you're a casual fan of U.S. coins or someone putting together a full set of American women quarters. But is it worth thousands of dollars? For the overwhelming majority of examples, no. Only the rarest, most pristine coins graded at extremely high levels are worth that kind of money, and even then, sales at that price are uncommon and unpredictable. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more coin videos and collecting tips. We'll see you next time.